Thank you very much. It's good to be with you all, and glad to see everybody out here. And for the heat's intense. That was a pun. I see how bad. This is Jeremy Stevens here on the guitar. Let's give Jeremy a little. Jeremy's a great musician. He plays banjo with me and guitar and bass and whatever I need. And of course his wife was here. She played violin, fiddle, whatever. So
where's she at?
and we might get her to do something a little bit later.
I know where you're at, girl.
It's good to be back in Maine. Last time I worked the Bluegrass Festival here for ever since they've been going on. We used to, when we first started it, I remember we played in the old barn down there. Of course, I played in the barn back in the early 50s, I guess. We had a Sunday evening show down there. I remember they used to, every time we do a song and get through, then somebody would ring a cowbell to make me feel at home, I guess. I come from the state of Virginia, and me and Jim started out in 1947. He was in the World War II there for about 2 years, and I played a little bit around home. They opened up a new radio station in Norton, Virginia, and I started playing there with a friend of mine, and Jim out got out of the Army, and we formed one of our first band, and I got a radio show there. And from 47, we've been on the road ever since then. We was together for 55 years as Jim and Jesse. And of course, our first band, we had such a long name, I don't care to mention it anymore. When we got a recording contract with Capitol Records, they said McReynolds the name is too long, we got to shorten it. So we went from the McReynolds Brothers and the Cumberland Mountain Boys to Jim and Jesse. That made it simple. Jim liked that because his name was in front. So I put him in charge of all the business end of it, the booking and everything, and we traveled around the country and played for 55 years together, and without fighting and killing each other. So that's some kind of record. It might be, I don't know. Not going to get no awards for it. But we had fun doing it. Anyway, it's good to be with you all. And first I'll anybody have any questions that you throw me on? I'm sure you can pretty easy. So I'll wait for the first question, and then I'll see where to go from there. Anybody want to know anything? Yes.
Your setup. Are you set up for splitting strings, and is it a wider nut and a wider string setup from your nut to your bridge on your instrument?
Oh yeah, I set it a little bit different. The regular standard way they set them up, we put them close together, which makes it complicated for me to get a mandolin that's set up right and go back to mine that's not set up right, according to the history of mandolin players, I guess. So I have a hard time picking up somebody else's mandolin and playing my stuff because it just don't work too well. And I actually use as much of the bridge as I can. I start as close to the edge as I can here and on each side, and then I spread them out well enough to have plenty of room to split string and everything else. The strings a little farther apart. It's a little complicated to play some things, but I use a lot of artificial nails to do some split string stuff. People wonder where I got how to do this. Well, I always want to do something different, and I accidentally on one recording, and when we were with Capitol Records, that's in 1952, we recorded Just Wondering Why, I think it was, and I introed it that way with playing three-part harmony instead of two. And from there I had a lot of comments about what kind of tuning did you have. I just regular tuning, but we play one string at a time because they're double, and I can do some strange sounds on it that way. So that's right now. I slowed down with arthritis and everything. That since I turned 88, and I learned. I think I'm gonna have to learn to do something different. That's not so hard. So I just hook my fingernail on these strings and try to do some different sounds, and I even make the cat scream sometimes. There's things I do. So that's what I concentrate on. Yeah.
I would love to know why you started playing the Grateful Dead songs. What inspired you to start playing a little bit from the traditional bluegrass and get into that?
Well, after Jim passed away, I didn't know really what direction I wanted to go, and Jim was strictly bluegrass. He and Bill Monroe were good friends, which we all were, and they'd talk about they'd talk business, and Bill was, and then they'd have fun talking jokes with each other. But Bill was pretty serious with me because he never did figure me out because some of the fun things I play on the mandolin, and he did compliment me on it. He said I appreciate your mandolin. And about every week he'd come into Grand Ole Opry down there, and he said, I got this new tune I want you to learn. He said, do it good with your style. And it sounded like all the rest of the Bill Monroe tunes. But he did have a variety that it wasn't nothing not like I was trying to do. So I said, Bill, make me a tape on these songs, and I'll take them home and listen to them and see what I can do with it. But he did make me a tape. That's as far as our conversation ever went. But I did have I remember the first time I did rawhide with Bill. It was down at the old barn down here, and I did rawhide. I did some crazy stuff on it. After he got through, he said, "You can have it." But we had a lot of fun with Bill, and I'm thankful that I was lucky enough to play here in Big Blossom. About every year they had the festival. I think we missed a few, but not too many. It's been a great experience. No, you asked about the Grateful Dead. I met through the internet Sandy Rothman, who played banjo with Jerry on his bluegrass band, the country thing he did, and we got to talking to Sandy, and he knew Jerry was a Jim and Jesse fan, which I didn't know at that time. So I talked to him quite a bit, how they used to drive from California and take our TV shows in Dothan, Alabama, when we worked down there, and Sandy suggested that I do a tribute to Jerry since he was a fan of ours. And so I said, well, my wife, she was a Grateful Dead fan. She had all the CDs that they ever done. She always told me, she said, you ought to listen to Jerry Garcia. What a great guitar player he is. And I got to listen to some of their things, and the first thing I heard was Black Muddy River.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I might can do that. All that trouble. And I found out later it wasn't. Even what sounded simple wasn't too simple for me, because I had played straight bluegrass music for 55 or 6 years back then, and I said, well, we'll get some of the CDs out, and I listened to some of the things, and I went in and we in the studio and put down the Black Muddy River, and we put the tracks down, and Steve Thomas was he was a fiddle player. We had a studio that he was recording me, and so I let him work on it 2 or 3 days, and I went back, picked up the tape, and he gave me a great track of the Black Muddy River, and that's where it started. And 5 years later, we got the album out. So I had a lot of help from David Nelson and Stu Allen, and some great dead musicians who knew all this stuff. And I thought, what are we going to do with it now? So I thought some record company might be interested in this, but I found out it took me 5 years to find a record label that put it out. So I finally got Woodstock Records to put it out, and from there I was surprised that many Grateful Dead fans was interested in me doing Jerry Garcia. So I'm still doing it. I know I heard a lot of tributes to the Grateful Dead, the bluegrass bands, and I said I think I would rather do it with a tribute to Robin Hunter, the writer, and Jerry, instead of this the Grateful Dead band. So as that came about, and thank the Lord, it was the best project I done by myself after Jim was gone. So I found out ever since I started doing this, it's hard to remember all these songs the way they do them, because Robert Hunter was a great writer.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand some things he writes. I think somebody asked him one time where did he get all these ideas, the songs, the words he puts in those songs. He said, well, I just write them. He said, he said, let you interpret them how you want to. He said, I just write the lyrics as it comes to me. So, but it's strange, some of the things that they put together. But I was happy that I got to play on the Mountain of Sound of Grateful Dead in Texas one time, and that was an experience, because you can hit one lick and it would ring for a week on the sound system they had. But I have to have the words here while I do some of these. We can do Black Muddy River. You know,
Oh my God.